Hi there. My name is Gary Steinman. I live in San Luis Obispo, California, but I work in Coalinga, California, which is in the Central Valley between Fresno and Bakersfield. Now, I've been here about 13 years, and this evening something happened that in all the 13 years I've been here I've never seen happen before. Helicopters were flying both over my house, going north-northeast, and then north of town, going west, every 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, sometimes as long as 10 minutes, but typically around 5 minutes. There would be one going west and then one coming north, east. Let me show you what that looks like on the map, because you got to wonder. Okay. Here we are in California. I'm right here in Coalinga, and I measured the heading of the helicopters. The ones flying northeast are flying over the eastern edge of Coalinga at about 50 degrees. And you'll see that there's a town here called Hanford. It's about 30 miles away. And right about under the N in Hanford is Lemoore Naval Air Station. Now the helicopters going the other direction, more distant from me, are headed in about that angle, a couple of miles north of Coalinga, and headed distinctly southerly but west. Now, I'm no military strategist, but if I was going to set up a traffic pattern to keep large helicopters, and by the way, these are not little helicopters like you're used to seeing on TV, where they're just a little cabin with a boom out the back with a vertical little tail rotor and a big horizontal main rotor above. These are what we used to call, when I was a kid, banana boats. They're curved, kind of roughly hot dog shaped, with a large horizontal counter-rotating pair of rotors, one in the front and one in the back. They're used for heavy lifting. They're used for moving large amounts of men, equipment. These aren't the largest I've ever seen, as far as I can tell, and they were only a few hundred feet off the deck going towards Hanford. But I bet you could get a couple of small vehicles in one of those suckers. Anyway, so if I was going to set up a traffic pattern to keep vehicles like that from colliding with each other in midair, which is, there's a loss of life, but the main problem is that it's bad publicity for your commanding officers. So you want to avoid that at all costs. So what you would probably do is set up the southbound leg to go from here, from Lemoore, out north of Hanford, and then out towards the west side of the Coast Range, and then down. And as you get down here, you've got the Lompoc spaceport, and then further down past Ventura, you've got Oxnard, which is where Point Mugu is, another big air station. And both of those, especially that Mugu is right over the hill from Los Angeles. And if you were going to lay out the northbound route to return to base, you would probably go up the east side of the Coast Range and then turn east and go back up to Lemoore. So you'd have this pattern going on where there's no chance of anybody running into anything. As I said, this has been going on for 3.5 hours. It quit about half an hour ago. Couldn't tell you, do the math. If you figure every 5 to 10 minutes for 3.5 hours, how many flights is that? And every time I'd hear one going out to the west, a minute later, there'd be one coming low and fast right over my house going towards the rough direction of Hanford. Now, there's other Air Force bases up in that area, Sacramento and Stockton area, which is also in that general direction, so couldn't swear to where they were going, but they've been going back and forth And like I said, they're transport helicopters. They're moving something or someone, and a lot of them, all evening long. And in the 13 years I've been here, I've never seen that happen. Now, what else is happening in California this week that we've never seen before? Got to ask yourself. So, be kind. Keep the resistance nonviolent. If people start doing violence around you, sit down and don't move. Let the agitators show themselves for who they are. Resist. That's all we can do. Let's hope it's enough.